Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Colleen Meyer, and we are here with this amazing author, Alynne McFaye. She's going to be talking about her second book, which is The Shadow. Give it to me.
It's the Immortal Guardians, Book 2, The Darkness.
The Dark Mist, and I know you just told me that, and it's like, I'm telling you, in
So,
one ear, out the other, it's an age thing. So, so we're going to talk about that, and we know here at Fearless and Pink that we support women doing amazing things, and these are amazing books. The first one, The Rise of the Shadow King, it's already out. You guys, you got to go to Amazon and check it out. Now we're looking at book 2, in which she's going to talk to us and read from her book. And you guys, let's support women business owners. Let's get out there and buy this series, The Immortal Guardians. The first book, The Rise of the Shadow King, is already on Amazon, so check it out. And go ahead and take it away. It's all yours. So
okay.
you want to start reading?
Sure. I don't have the actual paperback, so I have to read it from Microsoft Word.
That is fine with me.
Okay, thanks. Okay, yeah, let's see.
And while you're getting that, when you're getting that, I'm sorry, when you're pulling that up,
sorry.
Do you know when is the release date for this?
I anticipate release date to be around June 15th.
Okay, that's an amazing date. That's when California opens up again too. So yay, June 15th. All right, go ahead and take it. It's all yours.
Thanks. Okay, everybody, I'm Alynne McFaye, the author, and I will be reading from Book 2 of The Immortal Guardians, The Dark Mist, starting with Chapter 1. Here we go. Chapter 1, The Last Day of School. 5 minutes until summer and freedom, Jessalyn muttered to herself. She was wearing faded skinny jeans, Skechers sneakers, and a bluish-purple button-down shirt which fit smugly around her small waist. Her long, wavy black hair was down, some of it pulled back in a butterfly clip. I can see it already. Long, endless days and nights of fun in the sun and Star Wars marathons, Zed replied. He wore jeans with rips at the knees and a button-down shirt sleeve, baby blue t-shirt that read, I live for sci-fi. Is that all you do for the summer? For 3 months? Watch sci-fi marathons? I feel sorry for you, Zed, Jessalyn said as she shook her head. And why is that? I mean, come on. Is that all that's going to be on TV? And besides, didn't your parents ever tell you that watching too much TV can sap away your brain cells? I would have to be a dope to believe that hype, Zed said. But you are a dope, she said. Very funny, Jess. But seriously, one would have to be crazy not to like Star Wars. If I was 6 years old, maybe I would be as enthusiastic about cheesy actors going into outer space and drone fighting. Demon fighting, on the other hand, is way more exciting. Oh, come on, Jess. Why can't one be crazy about Star Wars? They're the best, Zed persisted. If you say so. I've got other plans this summer, Jessalyn said. Zed looked horrified and astonished before he spoke. You mean you're not coming over tonight? We always do beginning of the summer sleepovers and movie nights. I know, but I had something else in mind. We can still hang out sometimes, Jessalyn said. Oh, okay, Zed said, perking up a bit. They were in class waiting for the dismissal bell. The whole room was buzzing with student noise as they moved back and forth, chatting up a storm of friends and close associates. Overhead, a small ceiling fan lazily blew a small breeze in the classroom, but it didn't do much to cool the sweat that appeared on Jessalyn's neck and forehead. Mr. Donovan, the homeroom teacher, was organizing paper and past assignments on his desk. Michelle and her devoted female followers were sitting on the desk in one corner of the room, eyeing the handsome school football quarterback, who was sitting in a slouching position in front of them. Then, with familiar din of the dismal bell finally rung, echoing over the intercom in the corridors, students headed for the door, each one trying to beat the other one to the door. Okay, class, remember the summer reading assignment for next school year. Mr. Donovan called over them as they filed out of the room. Jesselyn grabbed her school bag and was the last to leave, along with Zed, who was having a hard time closing his backpack. Here, allow me, Jess said, reaching for it. She zipped it up for him and handed it back to him. Gee, thanks, Jess, Zed said. No problem, Jesselyn said. That's what you get for shopping at thrift stores. Very funny. My mom has a decent job, so she bought this just to punish me, that's all. Punish you? For what? For destroying my sister's backpack when she lent it to me once, Zed explained. But it was an accident. I left it in the rain by mistake, he quickly added, and Jesselyn raised her eyebrow quizzically at him. Let's go, Einstein. The freedom of summertime awaits, Jesselyn said, tugging him by the arm as he struggled with his traitorous backpack, zipping up the zipper on one side, preventing his items from falling out. As they walked, she put one free arm around Zed's shoulders, utterly oblivious to the deep blush that crept up his neck as she touched him. Yeah, freedom from homework, put in Zed. Freedom from Mr. Donovan's boring lectures, added Jesselyn. Freedom from having to wake up early for school. And best of all, Jesselyn happily trailed off, freedom from all meaningless classes, they both said in unison. They exited to go outside. Blinding sunlight greeted them as they went outside. Jesselyn unraveled her arms from around Zed's neck as they headed towards the rack of parked bikes. The sun was hot on her neck, her hair sticking on the back of her neck and forehead as Jesselyn stood in the school courtyard, leaning against the bike rack. Here and there, a crew of students hopping into their personal vehicles as they headed for home. Want to walk home together? Zed asked. Nah, I'm waiting to
I
pick
think the police are looking for your bad guy in the novel.
up.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Nah, I'm waiting to be picked up, Jesselyn said. Thanks anyway, she added, a half apologetic smile on her face. So, who are you waiting for? Zed asked, looking crestfallen. They sat perched on the bike rail and stared across the empty school courtyard as the other students headed home. One large group walked towards the train station, which was several blocks away. You see, just wait until you meet him, she said amicably, beaming inside. Zed raised his eyebrows. Him? Zed said in surprise, a sense of jealousy. A few more minutes went by. Jocelyn sighed, feeling crestfallen. Then, as he was almost about to give up all hope and take Zed up on his offer, the familiar sound of a motorcycle engine zoomed near. All of the girls stopped their secluded conversations and pointed, noisily whispering and gawking as a tall, young boy with blond hair pulled up on the curb in front of Jesselyn. Light sweat gleamed on his temple, lightly darkening the gold in the gray screens on either side of his forehead. So, this is who you were all anxiously waiting for? Zed said in disbelief. Yep, Jesselyn said. Cassius Sherwood smiled in the bright daylight, showing all his pearly whites. You're late, Jesselyn said flatly, breaking out a small smile. Sorry about that. Gripper held me up. I see, she said. So, who's the nerd here? Cassius inquired, never taking his eyes off Zed as a ghost of a smile formed on his lips. Jesselyn usually associated that type of smile with one word, mischief. This is my good friend Zachariah, but he prefers to be called Zed. Jesselyn introduced him, patting him on the shoulders. Zed raised his eyebrows, flinching at Jesselyn's touch. And you are? Zed said, not bothering to hide the agitated look on his face. His hazel eyes flashed with rage. Cassius Sherwood, Cassius said. So, ready to go? Cassius said to Jesselyn. Yep, all ready, Jesselyn said, and swung herself onto the motorbike, placing her arms around Cassius. Jesselyn, is this thing even safe? Zed said. Of course it is, as long as I'm steering it, Cassius replied. I didn't mean the motorcycle, I meant you, Zed said to Cassius, coldness etching in the words as he spoke. I would rather you spend time with me than with this complete stranger, Zed pouted. Jessalyn sighed as he absently tucked a stray strand of hair around her ear. He's not a stranger. I told you about him over spring break, in fact, Jessalyn said. So I take it you don't want to hang out with me this summer? I will make it up to you, I promise, Jessalyn said, cold guilt nipping at the pit of her stomach as he avoided his cold stare. So you say, Zed replied. He flinched a bit at his tone of voice. The look of astonishment was replaced with anger. Zed, come on, don't be like that, Jessalyn said. This is getting interesting, like my favorite soap opera, Cassius said with a smirk, apparently enjoying himself. Up yours, goth boy, Zed said. He then turned to Jessalyn. You never replied to any of my invites on Facebook. Now you're ditching me for him. That's hardly fair. You didn't jump to my rescue when those monsters attacked me, she pointed out. Zed's eyebrows furrowed. Monsters? What monsters? Zed asked. Cassius gave her a look that said, don't even bother. But Jessalyn ignored him. These creatures, they're called demons. They exist, but humans usually can't see them. I was attacked by one of them, she explained. You were attacked by demons? I thought those things only existed during exorcisms, and even those can be fake. Nope, said Cassius. You're immortal. You wouldn't understand. Zed glared bitterly as he returned Cassius' smug stare. Clearly the other boy was mocking him. Annoying, pretentious asshole, thought Zed. Jessalyn nodded. He's right, but I'll explain to you later. Not here. Okay, still weird, but I'm sorry about that. I didn't know you were attacked. Sorry, Jess. I didn't see you hardly at all over spring break, Zed said. I guess I really missed you. Aw, I missed you too, Zed. And Anna too. Jessalyn hopped off the motorcycle and approached Zed, embraced him. She then turned towards Cassius. Take care of my girl. If you harm her, I will kill you, Zed said to Cassius, narrowing his eyes. See you. Nice to meet you, by the way, Cassius said, despite feeling the complete opposite. Jessalyn mounted the motorcycle again, securing her arms around Cassius' torso. He revved the engine and they sped off into the sunshine, dust puffing up from the ground as they rode past. Jessalyn looked back, feeling guilty. She caught the expression on Zed's face. It was a look of contempt. It reminded her of the look that Nana Josephine would give her when she was caught doing something wrong. Zed was in the distance, walking towards the train station. Before she had met Cassius, she always took the train with Zed, except on days when his mother picked him up from school. Michelle was standing at the corner with a posse of females. OMG, Jessalyn heard Michelle cry out. I wish my boyfriend would do that for me. Jessalyn waved as they passed her. So, how was school? Cassius said. School sucks. And by the way, that was sort of mean what you said to Zed back there, Jessalyn said. What, about him being a nerd? I didn't mean anything by it. Sorry, Cassius replied somberly. Apology accepted. But it seems like he has the hearts for you or something. He acts like he lost his true love. I'm not his true love. He's my best friend, that's all, Jessalyn explained. We were close before I came along into the picture. Is that what you wanted to say? Cassius said. His tone sounded even, calm, but even she could sense the bitterness there. Jessalyn wrapped her arms even tighter around him, her lips tenderly touching the collar of his jacket. No, silly, but I would appreciate it if you were a little nicer to him. Cassius pretended to contemplate his thoughts. Nicer? I always thought it would be easier if I ran him through with my sword. He'd make an excellent real-life stuffy doll for target practice. Even Ripper would agree. Cassius! Jessalyn frowned as she said his name. You have to be a spoil sport, yeah, Jess? Okay, fine. I'll try to be nice to him, but only for you. Thank you, Jessalyn said. By the way, I still don't see why you still attend that school. You have so much to learn at the headquarters, Cassius said. I still have to get top marks. I couldn't just up and quit without finishing the school year. I understand, Cassius said, but you can learn so much more if you attend Warrior School. They teach students about math and writing, but more important, we are trained in combat and weaponry. The Mortal School does not teach one about how to defend yourself from a demon attack. True,
Mm.
Justin said. but they do teach proper etiquette and manners. Cassius smiled at this before speaking. Is proper etiquette and manners enough to kill a demon? All it does is teach you how to introduce yourself properly to a demon before it kills you. Jesselyn laughed. You are so full of it, Sherwood, but I do see your point. They rode along the FDR drive, and then Cassius pressed a greenish button. Soon they were soaring into the air, rising several feet, making them level with the top of the tall skyscraper. Jesselyn was in deep thought, though, barely noticing the beautiful view of the city above them as they flew. The sun reflected against the slowly flowing East River, turning it into colors of molten gold and blue hues. An idea struck her, as instant as one might turn on a light switch. I've got it, she cried, alarming Cassius. The motorcycle dipped but rose again. What is it? He asked. Why don't we invite Zed to the headquarters? He wouldn't feel so left out, Jesselyn said. I'm not sure Henry would allow it. Besides, remember, Jess, it's a secret haven for Centurions to use. And Zed would stick out like a sore thumb, Cassius explained. I know, but I owe him that much, Jesselyn said. And that was the reading of chapter 1 from my new book, book 2, The Darkness of the Immortal Guardians.
So let's go back and talk. I know you mentioned it. So let's go back and talk about your heroine in this story, and kind of give us, because I know we did a lot of readings, from book 1. The first, I think, two chapters. I think we did book 1, maybe the first 3, but this is book 2.
Yes.
Can you kind of give us talk a little bit about your heroine and kind of, where does this take place in reference to, we read book 1, The Rise of the Shadow King. Now we're in book 2. Where does book 1 leave off in book 2? Don't have to tell us, don't give away, the endings, but kind of like, is this within the same time frame? Is this 2 years later? Is this 1 month later? And are they still in New York? They're obviously still in New York.
Yes.
Because, because that's where your book takes place in modern day New York. New York City, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the heroine and how far in time is from the book ending book 1 to now. Is it just a continuous, like picking up where it left off?
Yes, it's actually about a year after the first events of book 1, because she's finishing school. She's like a senior now and finishing up. She's still in her mind thinking, I'm immortal. I know how to demon fight now, but I'm still immortal. So it's like wrapping up about a year, close to a year after the events of the first book.
So, and so she's going on a second adventure in book 2, or is this a continuation of this battle with the Shadow King into book 2, or is it a whole complete different, scenario she's dealing with?
Definitely, it's a new battle. It's a new journey. This is about to go on, because in book 2 it's new villains.
Oh my God, I love it. So we want to tell me more because we want people to read the book. Okay. So, and of course, your hero is going to be in book 2 also, right? Can you tell us a little bit about him again?
In book 2, Cassius Sherwood, definitely.
Is he in book 2 too?
Yes, him, Ripper, and Jade. Jade's like kind of the badass. He's kind of that's his new friend, yeah. So
let's go ahead. So can you just let our listeners know a little bit about the who he is and whether he's mortal or he's immortal from book 1?
I'm Cassius, a Ripper, a theory.
Yes, the hero, the young man in book 1 that she comes across in book 1.
Oh, obviously, absolutely. Well, they're like what you call quasi-mortal. They're still young, but they're Centurions, so they're full blood. So they can live like mortal weapons can't destroy them. The only thing that makes them, that they're not invincible to, is like demon blood. So when they go into battle and fight the jinns, the only thing that can actually physically kill them is like they get infected with demon blood. And as far as mortal weapons, like if they get shot with a gun or bullet or something like that, that won't kill them. Fire, no, but that's the only thing that can kind of make them invincible, that can kind of weaken them or they're vulnerable to. It's the demons that they fight, the demon blood. So every day they go into battle, they think, "Am I going to die today?" That's the only thing that can possibly kill this team. So technically,
Mm,
they are immune to like mortal wounds and mortal harms. So they you call them quasi-immortal,
mm.
since the demon blood's the only thing that can weaken them or make them sick or destroy them.
So let's talk about book two is going to come out tentatively June 15th. Now, with that being said, um, I would like to have you come back and do chapter two reading of book two. Not next week because next week is a holiday,
Yeah.
right? There's no more, we want people to be able to tune in, so we don't want to have people miss it. So let's take a look. So that will be on June 6th.
Okay.
Does that work for you?
Yes, that's on
Okay.
Sunday, Saturday.
Yeah, it's well, that'll be a Sunday.
Oh, perfect.
Sunday,
But this is
the
close to me.
June June 6th, and let's do it again at 11:30 my time, which of course would be 2:30 your time.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on and reading chapter one of your second book, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.